Hello everyone, welcome to Stilt video series. An interview is one of the most important parts of being granted a visa, particularly when you're claiming to be someone else's fiancé. Generally speaking, every visa request would require its applicants to go through an interview, but the K-1 interview would be slightly different. In essence, a K-1 visa would dive deeper into your history and intentions compared to, say, a work visa. For some, the K-1 visa interview questions might seem a little scary and way too personal. It's only natural to be scared of these questions, but if you're prepared, then there is no reason why you should fail the interview. What is the K-1 visa or Fiancé visa? The K-1 visa, also referred to as the Fiancé visa, allows the fiancé of a current U.S. citizen to enter and remain in the United States, but only under the condition that they get married within 90 days upon the arrival. After that, the married spouse may apply for a green card or permanent residence, an adjustment of status backed by their marriage. This may be called the Fiancé visa as referring to the man, but in fact, it applies for both men and women. Simply put, anyone who is engaged to be married to a U.S. citizen, regardless if they are a man or a woman, may opt for the Fiancé or K-1 visa. The Fiancé visa interview. As mentioned, every visa application would require an interview to determine whether you should be accepted in the country or not. The purpose of the Fiancé visa interview is to determine the depth of your relationship, to show that you are actually there because you love your future spouse and want to live the rest of your life with them. For this reason, your interviewer will pack a fair number of standard and personal questions. How long have you known each other, what your wedding plans are, whether you know that your fiancé was divorced or not, what their hobbies are, and so on. At some point, it can get very personal, in the limits of decency. But your answers may determine whether or not you get a visa. Why are K-1 visas so important? You would think that if you got engaged to someone, it would be proof of your undying love and the fact that you both want to spend the rest of your life with your partner. However, the truth is not that fairy tale-like. Visa fraud is actually a very common thing in the United States, and marriage visa frauds are the most common types. This type of visa fraud occurs when at least one of the engaged parties enters a marriage just to escape immigration and acquire a green card. No matter how it might seem like loveless marriage is still marriage, it's still considered clear fraud. This is why the U.S. Immigration Office is very serious when it comes to questioning a relationship. They have to be convinced that your feelings are genuine and that you plan on getting married because you love each other and want to grow old together. They want to see that your purpose is not because you need a green card, but because you do not want to be apart. For this reason, a lot of tricky questions might appear during your K-1 interview, and you need to be particularly careful. While there isn't always a right answer, your manner of answering it might actually determine whether you'll be granted the visa or not. Who should attend the K-1 Fiancé visa interview? Obviously, the beneficiary of the K-1 visa should be attending the interview. After all, they are the ones that will be granted the visa after answering the K-1 visa interview questions. Aside from the K-1 beneficiary, any potential K-2 children should also attend. However, the children will have to be added on the same I-129F petition. One may think that the U.S. citizen sponsor would have to attend, but that's not the case. In fact, it's usually prohibited, as it may affect the results of the interview. For example, a sponsor may tip the beneficiary off if they give the wrong answer, or they may be tempted to answer in their place. This way, the officers will be sure that there will be no one to tamper with the results of the interview. Granted, some U.S. consulates and embassies may allow for the sponsor to attend as well, but this is rarely the case. You may want to check for specific rules at your embassy and see exactly who should or should not attend. K-1 visa interview format. The format will generally differ from embassy to embassy, but generally speaking, there are less than 100 categorized questions that you will have to answer about yourself, your fiancé, and other aspects regarding the relationship. In essence, the interview should last something between 15 and 20 minutes. It will involve you, your fiancé, your relationship, and your plans. How to prepare for your fiancé visa interview. A consular officer will generally not ask all of the questions in a list. You may have around 89 questions available, but chances are that they will only ask about 15 to 30 of them. Still, bear in mind that this interview is not an interrogation, but a chance for the counselor to get to know you better and confirm the validity of your relationship. If you are in love and have known each other for a while, your first instinct might be to discard the questionnaire because you think you know everything. However, within those questions, some issues that the two of you have not yet discussed might appear. Knowing their answer directly from the source might prevent you from getting caught off guard, and therefore will allow you to answer the questions naturally. You might think that because it's an interview, you might not have to bring anything with you directly, but you do. Before going off on your interview, you might want to prepare a folder containing copies of all your previously filed documents, such as your Form I-129F. Furthermore, you should check with your visa interview appointment letter to see exactly what you are supposed to bring with you. Review your I-129F petition. Before going on the interview, read the I-129F petition form that your fiancé has filed for you. You should be familiar with all the data written in it. If there is information that is changed in that document, you should have supporting evidence so that your case is not delayed. Please keep in mind that your K-1 visa will require that you marry your U.S. petitioner within 90 days. K-1 visa interview questions. When you start getting ready for your visa interview, make sure that you and your spouse go over the potential K-1 visa interview questions. Here are some that you might want to consider. Questions about yourself and your background. This section is all about you, the one applying for a fiancé visa. This is likely one of the easiest parts of the interview, but still just as important. Some of these questions may pop out as formalities, but they can be very important nonetheless. What are your name and birthday? Where were you born? What is your nationality? Have you ever visited the United States before? On what type of visa? Were you ever involved in marriage before? For what reason did the marriage end? Do you have children? If the answer is yes, then the children coming with you to the US will have to accompany you on the interview. Were you ever sponsored for a fiancé visa before? What happened in the relationship? Have you ever been under arrest or convicted for a crime? Questions about your fiancé. This section will cover the fiancé, the one that has the US citizenship. You will receive questions about him or her. Some of them might be more personal than others. The questions are standard, so you will just have to answer them. You must relax and just answer these questions as naturally as possible. What is the name, age, and the birthday of your fiancé? Where does your fiancé live? Do they live in an apartment or do they live in a house? Do they own the place or rent it? What is their job? Have you met the parents of your fiancé? If you haven't, why haven't you done so yet? Does your fiancé have any siblings? What are their names, and have you already met them before? Has your fiancé ever been in a previous marriage before? What happened in the relationship? What do you love the most about your fiancé? What languages does your fiancé speak? Does your fiancé have any other children? If they do you know their name and age? Have you met them before? Questions about your relationship and wedding. This section will dive more into your relationship and might inquire about some details. You might be asked questions like how long have you known your fiancé, what exactly do you love in him or her, when and how they proposed to you, who attended your engagement party, the type of dates you tend to go on, and other similar questions. This is to determine exactly how the two of you fell in love and how you plan on moving forward with the relationship. When did the two of you meet? Describe how you met and how you both fell in love. How long have you two been dating before you decided to get engaged? How many times have the two of you met in person? On what occasion? Are there any activities that the two of you particularly enjoy during your relationship? How do you maintain communication during a long-distance relationship? Is it difficult for you to be apart from each other? Please describe how your fiancé proposed to you. Have you met the family of your fiancé? Have they met yours? If not, why not? Where and when will you be holding the wedding? How many people will attend the wedding? How did you decide to hold your wedding in the United States instead of your home country? Will your family be able to come to your wedding? If not, why would they not be able to come? What plans do you have for your honeymoon? Other possible K-1 interview questions. The K-1 visa interview will feature a lot of questions to determine if your reasons to enter the United States are purely based on your status and your relationship. Here are a few more questions that you might want to expect. Do you work anywhere right now? What is your current workplace? Are you aware of everything that you have to do once your K-1 visa has been approved? What is the color of your fiancé's eyes? If your fiancé's been married before, what was the name of their ex-spouse? Does your fiancé have any pets? If so, how many do they have? What is the religious background of your fiancé? Has your fiancé ever visited your country before? Does your fiancé have a criminal background? Have they ever been convicted? Bear in mind that not every questionnaire will have the same list of questions. So while it may be alright to review some K-1 visa interview samples to get an idea, you should not have the questions memorized. Review them with your partner if it's a topic you have not yet considered. When you have to answer the question, once more, answer it as naturally as possible. We hope this video has been helpful to you. At Stilt, we provide financial services for immigrants and the underserved. Subscribe to our channel and visit stilt.com for more details.